Hello, strawberry donut, baby doll with jam inside. This is the Bitcoin chart. It went up only. We all love it. Went to the moon. Yay. Don't we wish everything we owned did this? The 4-year return of Bitcoin. So if you bought here and you held for 4 years, you got a 9,200x on your money. In this 4-year period, it's 69x. Okay, so let me write that down for you. 9,200x, and then here you got 69x. So they start diminishing. But it's still good, man. It's still great, isn't it? 69x your money. I mean, even a 10x on your money, really. Really. So we don't have to give up hope. Just because things are diminishing doesn't mean we've got to give up. All right? There's always going to be people who tell you to get off the boat. That's it. We're getting a boat emoji right now. You are here. This is you. You're paddling away on your cute little paddle boat. And there are other people drowning. There are other people drowning. So two people holding their hands. They are drowning in the water. Okay? They're drowning in the water. And they want you to get off the boat. Here are you sailing across as time goes on. Always. I've seen this time and time again. Crypto, stonks, commodities, life in general. People see you succeeding, they want you to stop. It makes them question themselves. You can deal with it in life. You can just avoid them, right? Let people be losers. But you can't screw it up here in investing because this is precious to you. Because these are your precious units of time on earth, which is limited here for us. So you got to make sure you listen to what I'm about to tell you. All these people who tell you that this time is different don't know what they're talking about. It's always different this time. The world never blows up, even though we think it will. One of the most common examples I've seen during the macro phase, 2022 bear market, right? It was crypto influencer talking points. Now, I know influencers, they're poopy heads, but they just reflect the mainstream retailer opinion. It's not them. They are the retailers. There is no edge there. They're femboys. So, look, they'll always say crypto's never been around with the economy going bad, etc. I love that they say this because as soon as I heard it, I said, well, that's wrong. Who's saying this? And then I realized, oh, thank God. That means everything's going to be okay. As long as I hear the incorrect thing in the main narrative, my heart melts. I'm like, thank you. The last thing I want to hear are these retailer poopy heads who don't wear fluffy socks. We don't want to hear them on our side. When we do, it's the Grim Reaper's coming. It's literally euphoria, you know. That's what happens. At the very end of the cycle, we go up so much, it's trained everybody to be bullish on dips in the third green yearly candle. And that's why on the first big collapse, there's enough people complacent. That's how you get that Wall Street cheat sheet. You get enough people saying, oh, but it's gone up before, it'll go up again. You don't want that. We want people to be negative. So they always say crypto's never existed with a bad economy. What they don't know is, so this is why I do the research and work for you. And I present it here for you. Please like, subscribe, bell button, or tell your mum, tell your dad, tell Greg, pet duck. Look at this, okay? Look at this. You see this red box? So people think, because the S&P 500 went up during this GFC, the Great Financial Crisis, people think that the economy was doing good. Well, let me tell you something. It was going down the drain. It was circling the drain and it was finished. Unemployment rate above 7%. No one had any confidence. Nobody wanted to do anything with assets. It was freaking game over. Everybody was jittered, battered. And yeah, you might say, oh, but they printed money. Habibi, no one knew if this printing money would even save the economy back then. Yeah, we can look back and say, oh, well, A, B, and C means it would have worked, but they didn't know back then. There was no eloquent, nice diagrams on YouTube and Twitter. There was none of that. It was just people relying on the words of Ben Bernanke, the Federal Reserve Chairman, and him saying, we're going to do this QE shit, and I don't think it's going to cause inflation. And people were scared because printing in their minds meant hyperinflation. They said, oh my God, literally it's the end right now. It's the end. But the market was smarter than them. The market went up and then down and then up and then down and then up and then made high lows each time. Okay. The market priced in the future. The market knows. So the GFC was bad. In 2009, in 2010, in 2011, it was bad. Unemployment rate was like, 7% plus, right? And it was bad for a long time. There were just job losses, company earnings sluggish. Nobody wanted to hire again because you're too scared. Bitcoin was birthed in this time. Have you heard of a coin called Bitcoin? Yes, literally made right here, man. Made here. Do you think Lord Satoshi, do you think he saw this and said, oh no, the stock market's going down. I better not release one of the greatest inventions humans are ever going to see this century. Oh no. Correlation. He did not care because he knew the response. The response by the government is dilute the currency, save the assets, get the middle class to pay the bill through inflation, and everybody will resume as normal. I used to believe that was a completely evil mechanism, but I think about it two ways now, because I've spoken to thousands of people through crypto, and I've realized that a lot of people actually they want a strong leader. They don't actually want everything that we think they want. And we all belong in a community, in a tribe, and we all want a role, but not everybody wants to actually be the leader with a target on their head. And we want businesses and leaders and CEOs and those people who actually build the companies. We want them to exist and make cool stuff for us. But if we lived in a hard money system where we can't print, we don't really get that. They take less risk. So maybe the middle class want this. Maybe they do. I know it's crazy. A lot of people they gasp when they hear this, but I don't know, man. It's nuts. So many times you'll tell people, hey, there's a better system. We just got to do it like, X, Y, and Z. They look at it and they're like, nope, there's no life raft. There's no parachute. We can't print ourselves out. I never want to touch it. I'm too scared. So now that I know this and you know this and I can share this with you, let's read this tweet together. How governments pay off debt. So, when the economy is going to the gurgler, they take on debt to stimulate. So you have two options, okay? There's only two options, man. Pay it off one or two ways. So option one is a deflationary bust. We had that in the Great Depression. We were on a gold money standard. There were no fiat systems, okay, for America and the world. So in this deflationary bust, the poor people actually become rich. Isn't it crazy? $20,000 buys a house. There's death and destruction everywhere, and there's unemployment rate 25%. But you're only rich because that 100 millionaire, he's now worth 500,000. So he takes like a 99.5% loss, and you were worth 50,000, and now you're worth like 5,000. Right? So you also take a loss, but he can't get back to where he is, and all the asset prices reprice. So you have, it's basically a reset. It literally is a reset. It's a fair way to do it. Unfortunately, it's the devil and Satan and evil spirits everywhere. That's just a death and destruction, okay? Governments never choose this. They'll never choose this because there's option two. So the option one is, poor people become rich. Rich people get destroyed and they come back to reality. What's option two? Option two is the inflationary bust. So wealthy power remains and the middle class gets robbed. It's as simple as that. When the asset prices go low to a point that they can't handle anymore, they get the finger on the money printer, and they go, that's it, we got to stimulate, let's build a bridge, let's get this guy some new fluffy slippers, she needs some new socks, there's no cute little kitty face on them. We start doing that, and yeah, inflation comes, the middle class has got to pay it. So I say here, man, just like use your brain and just take an educated guess which path they're going to choose. We're always going to choose this option too. We're always going to choose it. I've told you, how many times have I told you? Give me a politician who says, we're going to take the hard way out. And then give me another politician next to him who says, I'm going to grow a mustache. I'm going to give you a free pizza coupon. And I'm going to give you a free public holiday. And we're not going to go off this system. I'm going to be like, dude, I want the pizza. I'm a supreme lover. Please, extra thick crust. Thank you very much. I'm going to choose that guy every time. And most people will. But obviously the problem is, eventually the party stops. So that's why we're in crypto. We've already got this covered. We're in crypto. But they're going to keep kicking the can for a very long time. So what do? You know, I have this example. This is all the way from February, right? There was AI narrative, China narrative. There's always narratives coming along. And it's good that you're in crypto, but you can still get trapped. You've got to be in convicted assets. We have to ride a community who's strong, pushing the name out every day, every week for you. See, we had a China narrative back in February, and that's it. There was like one red candle jitter in Bitcoin, and that straight away, Filecoin just starts selling off. Filecoin, a Chinese Filecoin, yada yada, high FDV, don't bother with it. But look at this, man. So if you buy based off narratives, even with the bullish undertone I've told you that they've got to print, it's still not enough. You need to forge yourself. So one of the main problems you'll face if you chase the narratives is the red candle pressure. You will face it. So even though I just told you they're going to have to print, the stonks will go up, it's not enough. It's a lot, but it's not the full picture. You got to be in a good asset, man. The good thing is we're in crypto. We're like literally, you're 95% of the way there. But chasing a narrative is not the way there. So, you know, people buying China coins. Filecoin's Chinese. Okay, then the red Bitcoin candle comes at some point. All right, do you still like Chinese coins? No. Do you know why? People only bought them because the influencers were talking about them. And now that they're not, they don't feel like they have anything to stand on. You have to be your own man, woman, or pet duck named Greg. You really got to stand on your own and have guts. That's what guts is. Guts is deep inside when everyone says, I'm not interested, this is ugly, I'm walking away. Guts is you stamp your 2 slippers on the floor and you say, I don't care. You either take me to 0 or we're going to the moon. Asymmetric risk reward. Because the volatility is just too much. There are no stops in crypto, okay? When you're doing spot and investments like this, there's no stops, man. You stop yourself out in the zombie virus, up only comes right after. You just got to sit through it. If you have a toilet paper mindset, you're going to get toilet paper results. You know exactly what to do, friends. You know what time it is. The governments are always going to print. You've got to be in the strong assets. The community is the asset, not the code. I don't want to see you waiting for these narratives and confirmation, all this garbage, okay? There's a time and place to play them, and it's going to be in the optimism, thrill, euphoria phase at the very, very end of the bull market, but that's only because we can see on television, oh my God, there are a wave of retail suckers, tourists who are going to come in and just keep wave after wave, just buying absolute junk. So I got to throw my money in. Trust me, when that is bubbling up, I'll tell you. In fact, I won't even need to tell you. You'll tell me. You'll say, hey, my other pet duck, haven't seen in like 4 years, start messaging me that they're getting into crypto. You start getting like random Facebook messages, people sending you body parts that you didn't know exist. Once that starts happening, you can't ignore it. You will know about it. So don't worry. When that comes, it'll be clear. Until then, friends, you know exactly what to do. The community is the asset, not the code.